In a world full of shadows, secrets don't stay buried for long. Open the door, step into the unknown. This is the Lots Full Podcast.
Welcome back to another episode of the Lots Full Podcast. It's a little bit different lineup today. Joined today by Jacob, and I'm, of course, Dakota, your lovely co-host. Dave's still taking care of his stuff. He was on here last week. He'll be back on whenever he gets his stuff straightened out. But until then, we're going to hold down the fort for him. And as most of you may have heard, a few weeks ago, we talked about a missing Air Force general. Well, I happened across a Fox News thing, Jacob. This is how it got started, Jacob. I happened across a Fox News post on Facebook where it talked about 9 other people. So it's a list of 10 people, all somehow related to America's nuclear weapons program, that have either gone missing or been found dead in the past year.
Damn.
Now, there's no direct correlation between these people, but it's kind of interesting that most of them are seemingly healthy, young individuals.
Yeah.
You know? I got a bunch of information. I went through some of the information I've released, or some of the information I have in here is from police reports. Some of it is from news articles. Some of it is from eyewitnesses. And there's a few of them that don't have very much information. So the one we already talked about, we can start with him, William Neal McCaslin. But there's others. So we'll do the missing ones first. We'll start with William Neal McCaslin, or McCaslin. I'll read you what I've got. His official U.S. Air Force biography shows that he was a retired Major General who commanded the Air Force Research Laboratory and had spent his career in space research, acquisition, and special program management. The Bernalillo County Sheriff's March 12th timeline says he was last known to be at or near his residence on February 27th, 2026, when his wife returned. His phone, prescription glasses, and wearable devices were still at his house, while his hiking boots, wallet, and a .38 caliber revolver were missing. The sheriff also said there was, at that point, no evidence of foul play and no confirmed video showing his direction of travel. This is also the case that most clearly shows the difference between internet speculation and public evidence. McCaslin's wife has publicly pushed back on theories that he was taken to extract old secrets. And CBS reported that family and some current or former officials were cautioning against turning the case into something it's not. To me, that sounds like what any government agency would say when something like that goes down.
Yeah.
But I think it's interesting. That in and of itself, because he had ties to Wright-Patterson Air Force Base and all that, was interesting enough. But then we go, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 others that are missing. We'll do Monica Jacinto Reza. Reza is one of the more substantial professional figures on the list. Public reporting and congressional materials identify her as a former JPL materials processing leader, while older aerospace reporting credits Monica Jacinto with co-inventing the burn-resistant rocket alloy Mondaloy. She disappeared on June 22nd, 2025, while hiking in the Angeles National Forest. County search records show that a search for Monica Reza was still active on August 8th and that she remained missing at that time.
What year was that? I didn't know.
2025, last year. They do not yet show publicly released evidence of homicide, abduction, or espionage. But that's another person with a background in experimental materials and aerospace.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, just up and fucking vanished, just like the retired Air Force general. Then we go to Melissa Cassius. Cassius disappeared on June 26, 2025, and was publicly described as a missing endangered person by state police. Family accounts reported through local news say she drove her husband to Los Alamos National Laboratory that morning, forgot her badge, worked from home instead, and later dropped lunch off to her daughter in Taos. She was later seen on doorbell cameras walking along State Road 518, while her purse, keys, wallet, and both phones were left at home. One of the phones had reportedly been factory reset. She was an administrative assistant at Los Alamos. Now, you know what Los Alamos is famous for, right? That's where we developed the first atomic bomb.
Okay.
Okay. And it's still used for that kind of research. Then we go Anthony Chavez. Official New Mexico records show Chavez missing from Los Alamos since May 8th, 2025. A Los Alamos police release said exhaustive efforts to locate him had been unsuccessful, and at least at that stage, that he was not believed to be endangered, even though the disappearance was described as out of character. So there's a tie there between Chavez and Cassius, that they both worked at Los Alamos, and Chavez went missing May 8th. Cassius went missing June 26th. What do you make of this so far?
It's kind of weird that all these people are going missing. Especially with her phone being factory reset.
Yeah.
That kind of throws a red flag to me.
See, what I got out of that was like, what are you trying to wipe something off of it? Right.
Yeah. It's like, now are these civilian workers or these?
Yeah. They are
Okay.
civilian. So far, the only military personnel is that retired Air Force general.
Okay. Yeah.
But
They
civilian workers, scientists, engineers, administrative assistants, all with ties to aerospace and America's nuclear program.
Yeah. Now my brain keeps going to they could either be running away from something, or they were told, hey, this place, this time, no electronics, via their phone, or at least one of them, and was told to wipe her phone, or they were just snatched. Because with the aerospace and the nuclear thing, they could be working on something that has to do with both, and together.
Yeah.
So you got the Space Force and everything now.
Well, we got one more missing person, Stephen Abel Garcia. Official state records show Garcia missing from Albuquerque since August 28, 2025. New Mexico Department of Public Safety lists him as a missing person, other caution. Gives a date, age, physical description, and a contact number, but says nothing else. CBS and local New Mexico reporting say Garcia was reportedly tied to the Kansas City National Security Campus and worked as a property contractor.
The what campus?
Kansas City National Security Campus.
Hey.
So there's another national security tie-in.
Yeah.
And those are the ones that are missing at this moment.
That's 4, right?
There's one, William Neal McCasland, Stephen Abel Garcia, Anthony Chavez, Melissa Casillas, and Monica Jacinto Reza. So 5 of them are missing.
Now, how many are dead?
Well, we've got 1, 2, 3 with public documentation, and then 3 with very little public documentation.
And that, even with public documentation, that could be covered. You never know.
Yeah. So the first of the deaths is Nuno Loureiro. Loureiro. Your guess is as good as mine.
Yeah.
I don't know. But MIT announced that he died from gunshot wounds after being shot at his home in Brookline on December 15, 2025. MIT identified him as a professor of physics and nuclear science and engineering and the director of the Plasma Science and Fusion Center. Federal authorities later tied the killing to a named perpetrator. U.S. Department of Justice said that Claudio Manuel Neves Valente was responsible for the Brown University mass shooting and this murder, and Rhode Island authorities said he later died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. DOJ also said that based on the evidence reviewed, Valente did not provide a motive for targeting Brown students or Loureiro. So this case is a homicide with a publicly identified suspect, not a identifiable motive, though. So he shoots up Brown University, he shoots this dude, and then shoots himself.
You remember, Sheeter, when they go and kidnap that FBI agent?
Yeah, I didn't see the show. I saw the movie.
You know, that's what I'm talking about, the movie where they put that contraption on his head with his own gun.
Yep, it's very fucking weird. And then we got Carl Grillmeyer. So he was a Caltech astronomer, and he was killed on February 16, 2026. Caltech's memorial describes him as a longtime IPAC scientist with major work on exoplanets, stellar streams, and NASA missions. He had published extensively and received NASA's Exceptional Scientific Achievement Medal. Local reporting and court coverage say he was found shot on the porch of his home in Llano. This is an active homicide case with a charged defendant. Reporting says Freddie Snyder was arrested and charged with Grillmeyer's murder as well as related carjacking and burglary counts. Again, the motive remains unknown. So again, we've got a guy killed, suspect in custody, no motive. So It just
Yeah.
keeps getting fucking weirder, dude.
Yeah.
And then we got Jason Thomas. Thomas disappeared from Wakefield in December 2025, and a body believed to be his was recovered. Good Lord, help me with this name. Recovered from Lake Quannapowitt on March 17, 2026. The Middlesex District Attorney and local police said the clothing strongly suggested it was Thomas and that no foul play was suspected at this stage. Chief medical examiner was left to determine identity and cause and manner of death. Thomas had reportedly been deeply affected by the loss of both parents shortly before he vanished. Does not answer every question, but it does give a possible explanation. So those are all the ones with public documentation. Those are the tame ones. We'll put it that way. Those are the tame ones.
Yeah.
From here, it's just going to get weirder.
Oh, I believe it. 110% believe that.
So the next death on the list is Michael David Hicks. The American Astronomical Society and University of Arizona's Lunar and Planetary Laboratory both say he died on July 30th, 2023 at age 59. Describe him as a comet and asteroid specialist who worked on DART, NEAT, Dawn, and Deep Space One. What public records do not show is a cause of death, which is why he's kind of been tied into this, that and his aerospace background.
Yeah, everyone that seems to be have gone missing or killed, they either have aerospace or nuclear, or just aerospace,
or just ties to NASA.
or yeah.
Which, fun fact, you know what NASA originally was designed or was created to do, right?
Underwater.
Map the ocean floor. You care to guess how much they've mapped?
Not a 7% or something like that.
Less than 15%. They got about 15% done and then said, you know what? Let's go to space.
Yeah.
My question is, what did they find underwater that makes them want to leave the fucking planet?
Stuff they can't explain, and it scares the hell out of them.
My theory is Leviathan from Book of Revelation. It's described as this 300-mile long monster that lives on the bottom of the ocean. I think they found Leviathan.
Quite possibly.
Yep. Found Leviathan and said, all right, let's get the fuck out of here before this thing wakes up.
Just think, if they found something like that on Earth.
Yeah. What the fuck do you think is out there? Like,
Yeah.
The next one, Frank Warner Mywald. Mywald is similar to Hicks in that his public death record is thin, while the professional record is substantial. His obituary says he died in Los Angeles on July 4th, 2024 at age 61. JPL and NASA documentation from 2023 and 2024 show him still active in instrumentation and biosignature-related research, including work listed under his name as JPL principal investigator or co-author.
After he died.
So there you go, another NASA tie-in. And what I find interesting about that is biosignature. You remember that plane that went down in Iran?
Vaguely.
The plane that got shot down and we had to go rescue the two pilots?
Yes.
Yeah. You know how we found that last pilot? CIA, I don't think the CIA was supposed to release this, but they did. They said they tracked him based on his heartbeat.
tracked him on his heartbeat?
Basically, they said that they have this new technology that can identify an individual in a crowd based on their heartbeat, like a fingerprint.
Or he was the only person around that had a heartbeat?
Maybe. But that's what like biosignature means, is they're reading your
Yeah.
individual markers and stuff.
I honestly probably can believe that they have the technology.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's former military officials that have come out and said we had iPhones back in the 60s.
Yeah.
Like, if you think that technology isn't advanced, then just give it a couple
No.
of years. I guarantee you what the military has is a lot more advanced than what we know they have.
Yeah, they're gonna. If they had those kind of phones in the '60s, just imagine what they have now.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
they're only releasing it years after they've had it.
They release it to the public when it becomes obsolete, is
Yeah.
my theory. They've got something a lot better, so okay, now the public can have the old shit. So, the last death we've got, the last case is Amy Eskridge. Eskridge is the earliest and most speculation-heavy case. Her obituary says she died in Huntsville on June 11th, 2022 at age 34, and identifies her as co-founder and president of the Institute for Exotic Science. Recent reporting says her death was a self-inflicted gunshot wound, but that same reporting also notes that police or medical examiner files have not been broadly posted. Eskridge's case has accumulated a large amount of retrospective commentary because of her interest in unconventional propulsion, and because later commentators connected her to broader UAP and anti-gravity narratives.
Yeah. I think that's making me think they're working on something to
Yeah, that's kind of my theory on it. I think they were working on something. They got it done, and now they're being silenced.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I also find it interesting that I originally came across this on a mainstream news site.
Yeah.
Like, I think they're feeding us a little bit of the truth, but I think there's also more that we're not being told.
Yeah.
This is just what the government approves, I think.
They told us to shut them up, to
Because
leave us alone.
that post, when I saw it, was 22 hours old. If that post had stuff in it that wasn't supposed to get out, it wouldn't have survived for 22 hours. I can promise you that.
Yeah. Yeah, they would have deleted it and everything like that.
So with how weird this is, if they're letting us hear about this, what are they not telling us?
No, they're not telling us a whole lot. They're keeping a lot to themselves.
Yeah. But I think it's interesting. One thing I also noted about the Amy Eskridge case is a week before her death, she put out a post saying she was not suicidal.
Yeah.
And now, self-inflicted gunshot wound.
Yeah.
Makes you wonder.
Yeah.
By the way, anybody watching, nobody on this podcast is suicidal.
No. Now,
So, Just throwing that out there.
Yeah.
We do not intend to go skydiving anytime soon.
Oh.
We do not have a desire to Kurt Cobain anything. So,
No.
but I
God,
just
no.
wanted to get this out there and talk about it. And I listen to a lot of podcasts. I have seen, other than that Fox News post, I have seen 0 people talking about this. And it just makes me wonder.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't think the government's really too concerned about our little old podcast. So let's put it out there ourselves, you know?
And if they do decide to be like, well, they don't need to be talking about this, we'll have knocks on our doors. And
Hey, if they come knocking on my door, it tells me I'm onto something.
yep. And I got cameras to prove they're here.
So do I. So, but anyway,
Next thing,
guys, let us know what y'all think. This was a shorter one, but
yeah.
I thought it was a good thing to bring out there.
Yeah, it gives some people something to think about.
Yeah. But
You know,
with that being said, I'm running on fucking, what time is it? 2:13. I'm running on 22 hours of no sleep. So,
and go to bed, fucker.
yeah. So we'll holler at y'all later on.
Alrighty.